What are simple ways to connect with nature for better health?
So the sun is so healthy for our eyes. We cannot look straight at the sun. We'll fry our retinas and our eyes in the back. That's not good. But we need that vitamin D. So by closing the eyes just almost, and then looking at the sun and giving our just turning the head from right to left, looking at the sun, we're doing two things. We're opening up our neck, which is giving us a better path to our brain. And we're using the sun to get the vitamin D to come into our eyes and nourishing our eyes. And we're also working indirectly on the muscles in our eyes. So there's so much. Sun is very important. It can do good and it can do bad. Do a good thing. Have your eyes almost closed and give your eyes a bath.
Okay. And Mary, would you like to go next?
I'm trying to figure out where to start. There's gardening, there's cooking, there's farm markets. There's so many ways. And going out walking and taking care of dogs. I do dog boarding and it gets me out walking. You know, it's easy to let the day slip by and before you know it, it's dark again and it's bedtime. I haven't gone out for a walk, but when I have a dog around, it's like they have to get out for a walk or they're crazy. So I think my connection to nature is having a a dog around too, if you can. But yeah, getting out walking different places, or I have different routes. I have a 10-minute route, a 20, and a 40. So depending, and an hour and a half. So depending on how much time I have, which route I take. I don't need variety when I'm walking. I, and I don't wear the earbuds. I listen to the birds and whatever is going on. And I always try to see how many people I can say hi to. And I'm much more successful when I have a dog. But I do try and say hi to people whenever I pass by. And sometimes they have earbuds on. And if I see that, then I don't say hi. But yeah, getting out walking and just taking deep breaths and listening to what's going on around you. That's my connection to nature, my happy place. Thanks.
Elizabeth?
My simple way to connect with nature is to nurture a plant or plants and then let the plants nurture you. And this can be one simple house plant, or it can be a big community garden, which is what I'm interested in. And what is so important about nurturing the plants is that it gets you out with other people and connecting with other people. So working together to be able to nurture plants and let plants nurture us through the harvest is my simple way to better health. And Ashley, would you like to contribute?
Absolutely. I think barefoot under a tree. It roots me sometimes if I'm flailing around and I'm not, right in the head or whatever. I echo Katie mentioning the vitamin D. It is crucial that we try to get at least 20 minutes a day without sunscreen because it is a red light. It's the best red light there is. And I think that the sunshine is very important. And I have never heard that with the eyes. I have light eyes. So I always wear sunglasses. And I had never thought about going out and just leaving just a little bit to give my eyes that nourishment. I've never thought about that. And I loved the turning the head. And I recognize I've got some cricks in my neck just doing that. So I will definitely be going out and practicing your method in the vitamin D today. And I know that barefoot on the ground underneath a tree root, it sounds silly, but it can be extremely therapeutic just to be rooted with the earth.
Okay. Well, a lot of people have already discussed really some wonderful tips. And I have 2 tips. One, make a friend of a particular tree. Trees are very wise. And, they always say that, tree huggers are terrible and things like that. But I'll tell you, if you really just stand with your hand on a tree, it's amazing what you can start to become aware of. Okay. And that also means hopefully you can take your shoes off underneath the tree, but you don't have to. And you can do this in the winter, you know, all but have a particular tree that you have a relationship with. And also, I would suggest part of nature that we've kind of forgotten is water. So I'm very lucky. I live near the beach. I have to walk a mile and a half to get there, which is good of my routine, right? But I wasn't able to run on the beach, right? When I first moved here. Now I can. And one of the wonderful things about that is that I can balance and my feet and my legs are getting stronger. And that's something that we really need to consider as we get older. There's been a lot of research lately that have come out that basically says the sitting of our culture is literally shortening our life. But it's not just that it's shortening longevity, it's really shortening our health span, right? The time that we're healthy and able to do things. I mean, I know some people who've been in chairs for 30 years in beds. That's no kind of life, people. All right. And nature can help us really connecting, right? I go in the Pacific Ocean and it has negative ions and it has salinity. And if I have any cuts or bruises, because I, unfortunately have a lot of, how should I put it, cacti accidents, um, you know, I heal really quickly. So what I would suggest is if you don't live by the sea, that's fine. You can have a lake, you can put your feet in a creek, someplace. Now, obviously, we have to be careful now because many bodies of water have been polluted with E. coli or various other things. So do check to make sure it's a healthy thing for you to do. But if nothing else, think about putting your feet in a bucket of water, you know, and in enjoying life, but really get the liquid around you. If you have a pool and you can do aquasize, that's great as you get older. It's something that is going to allow you. But I say if you're inside a pool building or something like that, it's not really nature in the same way, right? That's a pretty artificial environment. So see if you can find some place to do this in, a forest or wherever you live.